Hey, hello everybody. Welcome back to Dave's Garage, Dave's Garage 249. Also get at me on YouTube by typing in David Neidlinger, Neidlinger, and you will see my list of videos. I think there's like 65. So, with that being said, today we're going to look at the continuing project on the Chevelle. We've gotten through some holidays, Christmas shopping, and we have a little friend out here called Snow. Snow. Dang it. Oh well, it'll be gone in a couple days. Anyways, let's get to work on the Chevelle. If you go back one or two videos, you will see that I've been changing out the fuel lines on Chevelle feeding the supercharger. This is kind of the way the finished product is going to look. And we're using the black nylon coated wire reinforced and somewhat alcohol proof fuel line that I get from Race Flex. And I have painted the fittings black as I talked about before. Now this upper line here I'm pointing to, this is where the fuel pressure gauge was mounted here on this fitting, and I'm going to move it remotely, and it's going to go up here where I had my boost gauge on top of this bar in the cowl hood, underneath the cowl hood, and I've removed the boost gauge, and we're going to remount that, and I'm going to run a new line for the boost gauge because the other one was really hard, stiff, and brittle. So now that the lines are in place, the next step is we're going to do a flush, and I have stuff for doing the flush set up and ready to go. And here I'll show you how this boost gauge is going to be mounted. And I made this mounting bracket for the pressure gauge. I'm not going to buy a great big odometer one at this time. I'm going to see if I can get this to work remotely. So the question will be, will it show pressure with a real long hose? And we're going to do hose ends. And you can see I'm going to change the direction of the way that I come out of the gauges with the hose. And also I'm going to use a much more flexible tubing. And this is stuff that I get from Race Flex, and should work out good. There I've got some more hose separators to put in place, and that's what we're going to do. So I'll set up for doing the and also when you're using these barb fittings, it's a good idea to use these clamps on the barb fittings. And I don't want to use hose clamps. They're big and bulky looking, and they stick out and sharpie things and cut your hands and do all that kind of stuff. So it takes a kind of you can buy a special tool, which I bought. This is probably going to be the direction I'm going to go on most things. That's what I did with the transmission lines, so it's working out just fine. So let's move on to the next thing. All right, I've got a hose lines disconnected, and I have a feature on the fuel pump that I can just bump over the switch, and so I'll turn the power on and I'll bump it over. There will be gas spilled, I'm sure. We can probably turn off the water pump. Let's see if we got any. And the object here is to just flush those lines, make sure that we don't have any particles or anything that's going to hang up the floats. Nothing yet. There we go. You can hear the change of the tone of the motor. That means that you're starting to pump, that's starting to load. And let's see if we got anything yet. Yeah, we're getting a little bit. Oh yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna do just a little bit more, and I'll show you guys something. I got a coffee filter. I'm gonna screen it through. I'll show you what we just avoided because I can already see it in the cups. There's crap in there, I can tell. Okay, so I've got some fuel out of there. Look in here. Look at that. There's little bits and pieces and particles. We'll run it through a coffee filter and see what we got. And this will tell you why I took the precaution of doing this. And we'll dump the other one in there, shake it around a little bit. Hopefully the stuff will float. Kind of float. And it's drained through. Now, let's see what we got. That would have hung up some needle valve there. And, you know, why don't you have a filter there? Well, I have a filter before the pump, but yes, I'm going to add another filter before the regulator after I get done building this. So, on to the next thing, which is, let's check a theory. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll show you how I made this this bracket. It's like I was thinking about pondering on how to make this. After Thanksgiving dinner, all of a sudden a light bulb went on and said, "This is how you make that bracket, Dave." So it's just simply a piece of aluminum. I bent it around a piece of 1 3/4 pipe. The diameter of this is 1 5/8, and then I was able to kind of squeeze it down. So it's kind of a press fit thing. Should hold pretty good. If I put the plumbing in the right way, it will not want to pull it out. It'll actually pull it in deeper, which is kind of what my plan is. So anyways, I'm going to go hook this gauge up now to my temporary hose. And we'll see if we can show some pressure on this if it's mounted remotely instead of right directly off the fitting. So how many of you think that's going to work or not going to work? Go ahead and put your thoughts in comments below, and we'll take a test and see what happens. Okay, I think I can see the gauge from inside the car. Over here, let me get my fingers out of the way. Let's bump the fuel pump over a few times. Gauge is moving. There it goes. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but the gauge definitely moves, which means that my plan to move that gauge over remotely with a hose is probably going to work, and I'm probably going to see pressure, and everything's going to be fine. Another thing too is that being that we pressurized it, right now we can see that we don't have any leaks anywhere. So by now we would have been spraying gas out all over everything. So I'm happy about that. Fittings look good. Everything looks good. So this is another reason why we kind of test, because I don't like failure, especially like at a car show or something. So I like to just kind of check to make sure things are working the way I expect them to. Now this front carburetor, now here's something interesting. We got a sticky float here. There's some fuel on top of this carburetor, which means that float stuck. So we'll have to remedy that. And let's see if we got it down inside the carburetor. No, it just must have. So we got some, but this carburetor's coming off, so I'm not really concerned. That one's coming off, and we're building a new one. So anyways, I'm happy with so far everything that we're doing, and I think it's going to be just fine. So I just need to come up with a way to get all this put back together and mounted back inside that cowl hood where I had it before. So let me show you a couple other things that have been going on. Some of you have seen some of my earlier videos. You know that I kind of got a thing for old 1950s and 60s toy trucks. Some of the stuff was stuff that was we didn't have the money for, or my parents didn't when I was a kid. And I've always liked these Smith Miller trucks because they look like real Macs. That's an LJ replica. You can buy these now new from, I think it's called All American Toys. They bought the company. It's kind of like a garage find. They walked in, the company had been sitting for 25, 30 years, and everything was just left in place, just where the workers left things when they packed up and left. So the new owners took over, and they've increased tooling and made nicer stuff. And I picked this up at down at Indianapolis this weekend. Went down to the swap meet, and this was reasonably priced. So I said, well, I've always wanted one. I'll add it to my collection. Now this was kind of an unusual find at a swap meet. As a matter of fact, the people that had it didn't even have a clue what it was. And this is for tool room layout and inspection or custom builds, but this is a height stand, and you can also do layout scribing with it. There's many different uses for it. You can check consistency of parts, all kinds of things. But here's a kind of the cool deal about this is that this has veneer scale, and I don't know if I can get the light on it so you can see, but the old timers know how to read veneer. I know how. I'm a little bit out of practice, but that's what the magnifying glass is for. Is that there's increments of like something like 25 thousandths or 10 thousandths increments, and you can fine tune to your thousandths. So you line up marks, and then as the lineups occur, then you read down 25 down to 5 thousandths, down to 2 or 3 thousandths, and then finally down to the thousandths. It just requires a little bit more studying of it. It even came with us the original case, all the attachments that you can mount various things on it to use it different ways. And I just got it just because it's just cool. Looks cool on the stand. I don't know. I just like it. So, hi Logan, that's for you. Voltor, do you know what this is? I bet you don't. There is a carburetor, still working on that. Actually, when I was at Indianapolis, I looked for any Holley parts that I could find that were still new in the package. I don't have any use for the used stuff because I've got used stuff, and if you're rebuilding a carburetor, who wants to put nasty, dirty old screws back on? If you've seen some of my earlier videos, you know I got a thing for these old toys, particularly Dopke, early Nylon stuff. I like. They were more scale and more authentic looking. Some of the Taka stuff is pretty cool, and if I had it when I was a kid, if I find it reasonably priced, I buy it. Like I got this crane for my 5th birthday. I remember it well. I remember how excited I was on Friday when I got in the bus and left because I had a Saturday birthday. That would have been like 1961. This one I got when I was younger than that, I think, but I don't think it lasted long, so I remembered it, but I don't remember it that well. But I found one at a toy show. It was reasonably priced, so I picked it up. So anyways, that's pretty much what I wanted to cover on this video today, and I hope that you learned something. And if you didn't learn anything, I hope that you saw the way that somebody like me, how I do things here in my own garage. And I like to check things out and test. I don't like the embarrassment of having failure. Like my cars, when I go to the racetrack, I don't usually pull out of the staging lanes much. They usually work, and there's no leaks and no surprises. We tend to be thorough, not perfect, but pretty close. So with that, I'm going to ask you if you like it. We're trying to get to 500 followers or subscribers, and at that point, I'm going to invest in some software so I can do some editing and titles and make it look a little bit more like a show. And I almost forgot. Here's another thing. It was kind of a surprise. It was underneath somebody's table, and they had $100 on it, and it's wheelie bars, and they need a little help, and I don't have a problem with cleaning them up, buying some new wheels for them, and I'll get some mounts, and we'll mount these on the back of the Chevelle. And I think that it's a cool thing to have a good set of wheelie bars sticking out the back, whether you use them, need them or not. It's just part of the effect. And I'm thinking parachute on this car too, and I'll make it functional. You never know. I'd rather have it if we ever take this thing to the track, I'd rather have it than land on the brakes and wish I would have had it. So, and it's got a cool factor. So do these wheelie bars. So anyways, back to subscribing. Please like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. Helps me out considerably. Gives me some credibility with my wife about this stuff. And I'll come up with more. Maybe the next thing we'll do is once I am confident that I've got this, I'm going to flush these hoses some more after this. I think that we need a little more flushing and clean the bowl out and stuff and see what's up. And then test run it. The engine hasn't been running in a while. So that's kind of what's down the pike. So thanks for watching. The subscribers I have, thanks for subscribing. You guys that build model cars that have subscribed, please continue watching, because I'm hoping that you're getting some knowledge and information about detailing and things on these cars. And another thing that I want to touch on is the subject of values of these cars. I have some pretty good thoughts. I watch the market pretty closely, and I just want to give you some tips and some points for discussion. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.